Hey guys, Sci-Fi Guy 2094 here. I'm going to be talking about Fantastic Four First Steps, what I think the movie will be like. It's releasing soon, and I'm going to talk about some of my expectations. So, I think this film actually will be somewhat good. I mean, it cannot be worse than Fant Four Stick, which is the 2015 reboot, which, again, I watched that one. I saw it once back in the day and I was like, okay, it kind of sucked. I watched it again recently. I was like, okay, it sucks. So that film really just, it sucks so badly. But with this new film, people are going to say, oh, third time's the charm. They had the 2005 version and I like that version. I guess back then, I didn't know people hated it, but I liked it. You know, Audiences didn't like it, critics didn't like it. And then the sequel came out, and nobody liked that one. Even I didn't like that one. So then we got this new one. Third time's the charm, right? Fantastic Four, First Steps, the MCU version of the Fantastic Four. So I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be like Rise of the Silver Surfer. It's going to follow the same basic plot, but I think it's going to be done better. It's not going to be anything new that we've seen, right? We've already seen Silver Surfer come to Earth and basically tell them, hey, there's this guy coming. He's my master that I serve. My people called him Galactus. And I think they're going to do the same thing. Basically, we see the trailers and Shalabal is this version, because again, alternate universe. And she's like, your planet has been marked for death. I think the voice is terrible. I think the voice is really bad. I prefer a more domineering voice, personally. So I just think the voice is bad. But basically, yeah, she's gonna say, hey, my master's coming to destroy your planet. We see Galactus walking through the street. They're gonna have to figure out a way. Okay, how do we protect this Earth from this guy who's trying to consume our planet for energy? So they seemingly already give the whole film away, because if you watch Thunderbolts, the post-credit scene, they basically have a ship in outer space, and I guess the Thunderbolts are sent to retrieve it. And there's a giant four on the ship, so we know what they're alluding to, that it's the Fantastic Four. So Galactus seemingly succeeds in his plan and first steps, and the Fantastic Four have to flee their universe somehow, and then they get into the main universe. That's what it's looking like. Again, it's kind of like, it's going to be Rise of the Silver Surfer, but I just think it's going to be better because, well, it's MCU, it's Marvel Studios. But, I mean, that's not saying much because their track record has been kind of hit or miss these past few years. I just hope it's done right. I want to see a good Fantastic Four movie, a nice sci-fi action adventure. I want to see a lot of the, I want to see Reed working on these equations. I want to see how he's figuring out, how are they going to at least protect the Earth? If, let's say they can't save the Earth. I mean, how are they going to protect the people? Are they going to move to another universe? Are they going to send Galactus to another universe? Or are they going to make Earth invisible to Galactus? Or I don't know. I just want to see Reed Richards being Reed Richards, coming up with a plan and leading the team. Now, I know Sue is basically, they're saying Sue is the leader in this film. I don't think she should be the leader. I think she should be the co-leader. I think Reed Richards, obviously the smartest man alive. I think him and Sue should co-lead the team. Some of the shots look great where they go to Galactus' ship. So, hopefully everything is like a nice, good sci-fi adventure, but it's also intelligent as well. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. Now, I think it is going to be, like I said, the same thing as Rise of the Silver Surfer, just done better. So what I'm wondering is, why are they using Galactus again for a villain? Well, here's the reason. 2007 version was not well received. He was a giant cosmic cloud, which, again, I wasn't really into that. Now, Galactus in the comic book, he basically can appear in a form that whoever is viewing him, he appears to them in a form they can comprehend. So I guess a big humanoid with a giant helmet, maybe they couldn't comprehend that. So he appeared as like a giant cosmic cloud. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why they didn't use the traditional version we're used to. They used the traditional Silver Surfer. His design was great. He was awesome. But they didn't use Galactus. Now this time around, we have a comic accurate Galactus, but then we don't have the traditional Silver Surfer. I understand it's an alternate universe, but we don't have Norrin Radd Silver Surfer. Which, again, I'm fine with Shalabal. I'm fine with the female surfer. No issue there. Here's my quarrel, though. Here's my quarrel. I think there should have been a different villain, okay? Because they already used this villain, and obviously it's not MCU, but they used him in 2007. You know, Silver Surfer and Galactus. I'm just afraid it's going to be the exact same plot. Even if it's done better, it's going to be the same thing. So what I would have done, I would have preferred like an Inhuman to be the villain, like Black Bolt and Medusa. And what's the other guy? Black Bolt's evil brother who's always scheming. I can't remember. But anyway, I remember watching like the cartoons as a kid. And the Inhumans, they lived in this giant dome, like outside, somewhere weird in like the polar regions or something like that. And they came into contact with like the Fantastic Four, and you know, they would have to battle them. So I feel like they should have done the Inhumans. I think they would have been interesting to put on film. You know, we've seen Black Bolt in the MCU already. Obviously, this is not their universe. The other thing would be Namor, because Namor is a recurring villain for the Fantastic Four. So I understand why they don't want to use Namor, because he was used in Wakanda Forever. But I would have preferred them to use like the Inhumans. I feel like the Inhumans would have been like the perfect balance between, you know, not deviating too much from like source material, right? Because they've come into contact with the Inhumans so much. It's something different enough from the other Fantastic Four films, but still familiar. You know, besides, we have seen Black Bolt, and people, I guess, know who the Inhumans are. At least to some extent in the MCU, especially if you watched Ms. Marvel, right? So that's my thoughts. I kind of wish they would have used a different villain, but you know, we are close to this film releasing, and we'll just have to see what happens. So leave your thoughts below in the comments what you think. Will this movie be good? Are you excited for it, or will it be bad, and are you going to skip it?